Hello. Another one of our gems of the Alshich is the Seder of Toldos. In our art scroll, it's page 124. It's chapter 25 in Genesis and verse 19, if you've got another Chumash. And this is what the verse says. The Elatod is Yitzchak, these are the generations of Yitzchak, ben Avram. Yitzchak, the son of Avram. Avram Hoiled is Yitzchak. Avram was the father of Yitzchak. Didn't I just say that? Yitzchak ben Abraham Shana, and Yitzchak was 40 years of age, but after this Rivka, when he took Rivka bas Basul, the daughter of Basul, Harami, the Aramite, meet Padan Aram, from a place called Padan Aram, Achas Lovan, she was the sister of a guy called Lovan, Harami, the sneak, the cheat. Loyla Isha, for him as a wife. V'yeter Yitzchak Lashem, and Achakishtai, and he davens for his wife, who couldn't have any children, and a miracle happens, and she has children. Well, actually, she has two children, one called Yakov, who becomes the next father of the Jewish people, and the other one, of course, is called Easuv, who becomes the greatest enemy of the Jewish people. And that's the story. The question, obviously, which I hinted at before, is, well, it says these are generations of Yitzchak, the son of Avram, then of course he's the Yitzchak, the son of Avram. Why say that Avram is the father of Yitzchak? To which Rashi famously says that the truth is that the generation, or the skeptics, the cynics, the mockers, the Litzonim is called in Hebrew, would turn around and say, you know what, you honestly telling me that Yitzchak's the son of Avram? How long was he married to Sarah? Decades. No pregnancy, no baby. And then one night she's kidnapped by that guy Avimelech, and she becomes pregnant. So in order that accusation could not be leveled, then Rashi says, it says, Elitod Yitzchak ben Avram, Avram hollered at Yitzchak. There was proof that Avram hollered at Yitzchak, and that was that God changed the face of Avram, not just to be, or rather, the face of Yitzchak, not just to be like his father's, but identical to his father. There's no such thing as an identical twin. Even identical twins who are identical are still different in appearance. Very slightly, but they're different. Nobody's truly identical, except here. Then Yitzchak was made to look identical to Avram. So the people could have no doubt whatsoever. Avram was the father of Yitzchak, and the accusation that Abimelech was, in actual fact, the father that's gone. But the Alshich, when he looks at this, he says that doesn't make a lot of sense. Because if that's the case, then it should be that the face was changed when he was born. And that's when people would make this accusation. So why does it wait now till he's 40 years of age when he marries Rivka? 20 years later, that's when Yakov's born. And when he's 60, that's when Yitzchak's face was changed to be that of Avram. Why now? Why not before? And he answers something very interesting. Because something occurs now that is going to provoke people to question the whole story all over again. Because the story, of course, goes that Yitzchak is going to have, well, when Rivka becomes pregnant and God listens to his pleas, his wife should become pregnant. She becomes pregnant with two children, Yakov and Easuv. And then they're going to turn around, those same cynics and mockers and skeptics, and say, it's going to reignite the old accusation. Where did Easuv come from? Sure, wow. Maybe it is the case that old rumor was true. Maybe that bad kid came from a bad father who had a bad father. And maybe it wasn't Avram who was the father of Yitzchak. Maybe it would be Abimelech who was the real father. He wasn't such a nice guy, and that would explain why there's going to be an Easuv coming from that man. In order that people couldn't say that. Then now, when he's 60, when that rumor would be reactivated by the birth of Easuv, then Yitzchak's face is changed to be identical, says the Alshich, to Avram, so that nobody could make that accusation now. Which leaves us, obviously, with, well, where did Easuv come from? So you might turn around and say, well, I've got an easy answer for that. You're right, I'll accept that. Fine, it wasn't Yitzchak, because he's got a father called Avram. Rivka, she's a very great woman, she's a tzedekah, but, she comes from a bad family. She comes from a father called Basul, not a nice man. From a brother called Lovan, a very not nice man. So that's where it all came from. So the Alshich says something very interesting here. If a man marries a girl, a woman, who's the wrong woman for him, there could be two reasons for that. First of all, and this is only so true, I'm afraid, even today, he's just blown away by her beauty. You just see the girl and you look at the outside, not at the inside. The Gemara famously says in the Megillah, talks about the three most beautiful women in history. Sarah, the most beautiful woman in history. Abigail. And then it says, and Esther. Then an opinion of the Gemara says, don't be silly, Esther she was not so pretty. So the Gemara says, okay, in that case, let's talk about Vashti, Achashverosh's wife. And apparently she was either the third or the fourth most beautiful woman in history. But she was an Eva Braun. She was married to a Hitler. She was an extraordinarily nasty person. So the outside can be extremely beautiful, but the inside can be corrupt. Maybe that's why a young man marries the wrong woman. She's beautiful, and a woman's beauty just overwhelmed his common sense. Or it could be that in reality, that's not the issue, but he lives in a small town, and there's just not too many girls about. Maybe he marries the wrong woman, or the wrong woman for him, because he didn't have a lot of choice. So the Alshich says very brilliantly, no, that's why it says here, let's look at the second verse again, that Yitzhak ben Abraham Shani was 40 years of age when he marries Rivka. 40 years, he's not a silly young man. He's not just out of his teenagers with, all the hormones and all the stuff they talk about the young men foolishly are overcome with. No, he's 40. And 40 is, as it says in Yakov, is the stage when a person gets bina, understanding. He knows that you have to look for something more in a woman when you marry her than just her pretty looks. Although, of course, attraction to your wife is important too, just as an attractive husband is important for a woman. So that's not the case here. It wasn't just, the stupidity of youth. He was a man of 40 years of age. And the other accusation that perhaps, it's because there was nobody about. We lived in a small town, a little village, a hamlet. No. What does it say? No, it says that he married Rivka, who was the daughter of Basul, the Aramite, from Padan Aram. Padan Aram, that's a long way. That's Iraq, right? It was, I don't know, the difference between the land of Israel and Iraq. 1,000 miles, something like that. A long way away. There's a big scope to find the perfect girl. It's not to be limited by there's only one girl in the town. So therefore, that's not the issue either. And that's why it says he takes her as a wife. Arami loy leisha, for him as a wife. She was the one perfect for him to be a wife. And that leaves us scratching our head. So where did Easuv come from? Rabbi Dessa says Easuv came from Easuv. You can have the most wonderful parents in the world, and ultimately you can have the most fantastic upbringing, and still you can choose to mess up your own life. But then you might want to blame it on, it's because of my upbringing, because of my father, because of my mother, because of my grandmother, etc. Ultimately, the person who's really in charge of your life is you. And Easuv, as Rabbi Dessa makes quite clear, yes, he was born indeed with a certain strong personality, and a personality that could be easily corrupted and go in the wrong direction, but he could also have gone in the right direction. But he chose to take it in the wrong direction. I think it's an important message for all of us. All of us know that the statistics show that alcoholics produce alcoholics, and drug addicts produce drug addicts, and bullies were bullied, and abusers go on to abuse other children because they were abused themselves. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can use that experience to go in the opposite direction. Easuv had the best start a human being could have, but he chose to abandon it and go in the opposite direction. It wasn't his mother's fault. His mother had overcome her background, even having a father called Basuel, even having a brother called Lovan. Ultimately, she made herself loyally Isha, the wife for her husband Yitzhak, the perfect wife. And he, of course, was a tzaddik. A tzaddik and a tzedekah had two sons. One capitalized on that good fortune and became the next father of the Jewish people, Yakov. One threw that good fortune and squandered it away, and he became Easuv. Good chance.